Bennett started to paintings in Riot City Wrestling in 2013. She spent numerous years with inside the promotion, in which she have become a time RCW Women's Champion. 4. Bennett made her New Horizon Pro Wrestling debut on the 24th of May, 2014, throughout the whole nighttime of the NHPW Global Conflict, in which she joined the Global Conflict Tournament. She became removed throughout the primary spherical of the event through Mercedes Martinez. 8. She back for the second one-night time of the NHPW Global Conflict event, competing in a 4-manner combined tag group in shape paired with Gary Schmidt. 8. 6 months later, Bennett became a part of the whole nighttime of the NHPW Final Chapter event, wrestling a 4-manner in shape in opposition to Madison Eagles, Evie and Soraya Knight for the vacant Indie Girls Australia Championship, however became unsuccessful. Bennett made her Melbourne City Wrestling debut on the 14th of June 2014 at MCW New Horizons, in which she defended the RCW Women's Championship in a 3-manner in shape in opposition to Savannah Summers and Toni Storm. 9. On 9 August at MCW Clash of the Titans, Bennett defeated Miami to hold her championship. 10. On the 22nd of April 2017, Bennett wrestled her final RCW in shape at RCW Strength, in which she efficaciously defended the name in opposition to Kellyanne. In 2017, Bennett signed with WWE, and it became introduced that she could compete with inside the inaugural Mae Young Classic, beneath the brand new name Rhea Ripley. 12. She defeated Miranda Salinas with inside the first spherical, however misplaced to Dakota Kai with inside the second spherical. 13-14. Ripley made her NXT TV debut on the 25th of October 2017 episode of NXT, taking part in a conflict royal to decide one of the contenders for the vacant NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver War Games on the 18th of November, which became gained through Nikki Cross. 15. Sporting a brand new look, Ripley competed with inside the 2018 Mae Young Classic, showing a brand new competitive and disrespectful attitude. She defeated MJ Jenkins, Casey Catanzaro, and Tegan Knox in her first 3 fits, however misplaced to Io Shirai with inside the semifinals. Shortly after the 2018 Mae Young Classic, Ripley have become a part of the NXT UK emblem as a part of the optimal of the newly created NXT UK display. During the TV tapings of the display in August, that aired during November, Ripley took element in an 8-female event to decide the inaugural NXT UK Women's Champion. 18. She defeated Gia Brookside with inside the first spherical, Dakota Kai with inside the semifinals, and Toni Storm with inside the finals to grow to be the inaugural champion. 19-20-21-22. With the win, Ripley have become the primary woman Australian champion in WWE records, and the second one Australian champion after Buddy Murphy. 23. Ripley additionally competed in a darkish in shape earlier than the primary ever all-women's pay-per-view, Evolution, on the 28th of October, in which she efficaciously defended her name in opposition to Kai. Because of the event having but to air on the time, she became now no longer but diagnosed on display screen as champion. 24. Throughout her reign, Ripley went directly to fend off name contenders consisting of Isla Dawn and Deonna Purrazzo. On the 12th of January 2019 at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool, Ripley misplaced the name to Storm, finishing her reign at 139 days and staining her first defeat with inside the emblem. 27. At Royal Rumble on the 27th of January, Ripley made her first look on a primary roster pay-per-view through getting into the Women's Royal Rumble in shape at Quantity 24, removing Casey Catanzaro, Dana Brooke, and Zelina Vega earlier than being removed through Bayley. 28. Afterwards, Ripley feuded with the debuting Piper Niven for the rest of the 12 months, over which one became the maximum dominant female with inside the NXT UK roster. The traded victories with every different earlier than teaming up after Ripley stored Niven from an assault through Jazzy Gabert and Ginny, whom they defeated in a tag group in shape on 4 October 29-30-31. Ripley wrestled her final in shape with inside the emblem on 5 October 2019 tapings of NXT UK, defeating Nina Samuels. 32. NXT Women's Champion, 2019-2021. On the 28th of August 2019 episode of NXT, Ripley made her wonder go back to the emblem while she interrupted NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, declaring that Baszler may also have overwhelmed all of us on NXT. 2 with Inside the Process, 33, in parallel to her feud in opposition to Baszler on 1 Nov. 5-on-5 women's removal healthy, which her group received after she remaining removed SmackDown captain Sasha Banks, with she, LeRae, and Shirai because the survivors. On the 18th of December episode of NXT, Ripley defeated Baszler to win the NXT Women's Championship, making her the primary man or woman to have received each, the NXT Women's and NXT UK Women's Championships. She then efficiently defended the name towards Toni Storm on the 25th of January 2020 at Worlds Collide. Ripley seemed on 3 February 2020 episode of Raw, confronting Royal Rumble winner Charlotte Flair and suggesting that Flair ought to use her Royal Rumble name possibility to project Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship at WrestleMania 36. Flair seemed on the subsequent episode of NXT to present her answer, however, became interrupted via way of means of each Bianca Belair and Ripley, with the two attacking Flair at TakeOver Portland. On 16 February, Ripley efficiently defended the name towards Belair. After the healthy, she became attacked via way of means of Flair, who widespread Ripley's project. Ripley misplaced the name to Flair on Night 2 of WrestleMania 36 on 5 April, and then she took a hiatus from WWE and back to Australia because of her visa issues. Ripley back on the 6th of May episode of NXT, attacking Flair after she were given herself disqualified in an NXT Women's Championship, healthy towards Shirai. On the 7th of June at TakeOver, In Your House, Ripley and Flair each misplaced to Shirai in a triple risk healthy for the NXT Women's Championship, 46. Ripley additionally didn't win the name from Shirai on the 18th of November episode of NXT. On the 6th of December at NXT TakeOver War Games, Ripley became part of Shotzi Blackheart's group along Shirai and Ember Moon for the second one ever Women's War Games healthy. However, they misplaced to LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm. At New Year's Evil on the 6th of January 2021, Ripley misplaced to Gonzalez in a last woman standing healthy, which became her very last healthy in NXT. On the 31st of January at Royal Rumble, Ripley entered the titular healthy at quantity 14 and scored 7 eliminations, however, became the remaining competitor removed via way of means of eventual winner Bianca Belair. On the 22nd of February episode of Raw, a video bundle aired hyping up Ripley's arrival to the brand. Ripley made her foremost roster debut on the 22nd of March episode of Raw, difficult Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 37. At Night 2 of WrestleMania 37 on 11 April, Ripley defeated Asuka to win the name, 55. On the subsequent episode of Raw, Ripley defended the name in a rematch towards Asuka, which led to a no contest after interference from Charlotte Flair, who attacked each Asuka and Ripley, 56. On 3 May episode of Raw, a rematch among Ripley and Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship became scheduled for WrestleMania Backlash on 16 May. However, WWE legitimate Sonya Deville introduced Flair to the healthy to make it a triple risk healthy. Ripley retained the name via way of means of pinning Asuka, 57-58. At Hell in a Cell on the 20th of June, Flair defeated Ripley via way of means of disqualification, therefore Ripley retained her name. At Money with Inside the Bank on the 18th of July, Ripley dropped the name to Flair, finishing her reign at 98 days, 60. She didn't regain the name in a triple risk healthy towards the champion Nikki Ash and Flair at SummerSlam on the 21st of August, 61. On the 20th of September episode of Raw, Ripley and Ash defeated Natalya and Tamina to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, 62. They efficiently defended the titles in a rematch on 4 October episode of Raw, 63. Earlier than dropping them to Carmella and Queen Zelina on the 22nd of November episode of Raw, finishing their reign at 63 days, 64. Their partnership ended on the 10th of January, 2022 episode of Raw, whilst Ash attacked Ripley, 65. At Royal Rumble on the 29th of January, Ripley entered at quantity 16, removing Zelina, Carmella, and Ivory earlier than being removed via way of means of Flair, 66. She then competed with Inside the Women's Elimination Chamber healthy on the titular occasion on the 19th of February, removing Ash earlier than being removed via way of means of Belair. At WrestleMania Backlash on 8 May, Ripley fee AJ Styles his healthy towards Edge and became discovered as a member of the Judgment Day, 71. At Hell in a Cell on 5 June, The Judgment Day, Edge, Damian Priest, and Ripley defeated Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan in a 6-man or woman blended tag group Healthy, 72. The subsequent nighttime on Raw, Edge delivered Balor because the latest.